Hello there, and welcome to the Gover podcast. Can we still call it that, David? I see you wince every time I say those words.
Well, I can't seem to stop you, Matthew.
It's taken on a life of its own. I think it's not down to me anymore, David. I just have to say it because of the fans. How are you? How you doing?
I'm really good, actually.
What you been? I'm good. I'm zen. What have you been up to this week? Have you done any meditation?
I am meditating daily.
Are you?
Yeah.
How long?
20 minutes.
What, guided? Is it a YouTube thing?
I try to do it unguided, and that is, you're alone with your thoughts.
Oh dear.
And all I can do is I do stuff like plan my days and just not using it constructively at all. And I do find it quite helpful if someone's telling me exactly what to do.
It is useful. That's why people have PTs, I suppose.
Yeah.
So it's a PT for the mind.
Yeah. I'm literally going on YouTube and just type in 20-minute guided meditation.
Have you anyone specific you found, or?
No, because what I do is I do it first thing in the morning, because then I know I'm guaranteed to actually do it. So my alarm goes off at 4:30.
That's not a real time.
So I'm normally fairly sort of sleepy. I just sit down and just pick one, but at complete random. But they're definitely good guided meditations and bad ones.
Yeah.
I had an incredibly irritating lady the other morning. She did not make me feel very zen.
Did she have an American accent?
Yes.
See, this does tend to affect me too, I have to say. So is it working? Is the question. Have you noticed any difference?
Oh, Matthew, I don't know yet.
You've got a rosy glow about you. I don't know if it's that.
I don't know. I feel quite righteous by the fact that I'm sticking to it.
Maybe you've just got a righteous glow about you then.
Yeah. But as of yet, my brain is still busy with thoughts. I've not got that.
You need to encase yourself with yoga mats and rugs and cushions and stuff like I do it today. I did a 48-minute guided meditation, and
That's really committed.
I went somewhere again. There was silence in it for 15 minutes. It sort of talks you into it, and then there's a 15-minute silent thing. You know it was still on and it's still recording because you could hear the atmosphere noise around him. But yeah, it was silence, and I went again. I'm very spiritual.
Are you sure you're not just nodding off? That's a genuine.
No.
Question.
It did occur to me that might be what happened, but no, it's far more in my head than that.
Are you sitting up or lying down?
I'm sitting up.
I think that's key.
Yeah, I think it is. I think I'm sitting bolt upright with
your eyes open or closed.
Closed.
And do you still have 7 rugs on you?
I don't have 7 rugs. I've cut it down to 5 a day now. But it's working.
Volcano with a little Matthew head poking out the top.
Pretty much. If you can get that image in your head, that's pretty much how I look. Yeah, just looking peacefully out into the Sussex countryside.
Do you do it outside?
No, there's a window. Oh. Yeah. No, it's too cold outside. It's raining as well. I'm not in touch with nature at all. So what we're doing this week is we're moving away from the new age stuff of the last couple of weeks. We're moving back into the gym a little bit.
Comfort zone.
Yes, David's comfort zone, and not mine. So that's basically we're back in our assumed roles. Really, it's very exciting, and we're talking about new trends. It's what's happening in gyms around the country this year. What people are doing differently, because it's always good to sort of try and change things up slightly, isn't it? Just add a few things in here and there to your program that's new and challenging.
Variety is the spice of life, Matthew. well, why you should vary your routine, so you're more chance of sticking to it if you enjoy it. That's a fact. So
yes,
by varying it, maybe you can. But people do vary their routines way too much. They come in and do random stuff all the time. You need to have some
repetition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Repetition.
Yes.
Repetition.
Oh my god.
So the reason we're talking about this is I just happen to have the February issue of Esquire magazine.
That's the kind of publication that you would have, Matthew.
I know. I
should imagine about 20 copies of GQ.
Basically they're actually just propping up my bed now. I don't actually need a bed anymore. They just put a mattress on top of all the issues of GQ. So anyway, so they've got an article in this month's Esquire magazine. I don't need to subscribe to Men's Health. I was saying to David earlier because I've got the personification of Men's Health sitting in front of me.
Oh mate, thank you.
Right here. I know. That's the only compliment you're getting today. And they've got an article called Training Spotting about the upcoming trends this year, and I thought
also a nod to the sequel that's come out, I guess.
What?
Did you say training spotting?
Oh God, I didn't get that.
Oh wow!
I didn't get that. Wow. See, I'm not as clever as you think I am, honestly. So yes, it's the trends that are coming up this year. So we'll go through them.
Will be good
One by one, and David will also talk about a few other things that he's noticed in emerging in gyms this year as well. So the first one is boxing. I mean, is that a new thing in gyms? I mean, boxing training?
No, it should be a trend though, because it's phenomenally good phys and lots of coordination. There's lots of reasons why you should box. One of the main ones of which, if you are ever going to look to even spar or even better have a fight at some stage in a ring, of course. It is amazing at making you present and in the moment. You cannot be more in the moment than worrying for your welfare and trying to slip punches. That is, you are completely focused.
So it's like a violent version of mindfulness.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, but you're way more motivated.
Cool.
Yeah,
because I mean they're talking about it in context. They like to talk about expensive things in this magazine. And Anthony Joshua, does that ring any bells to you?
Oh, man.
Yeah, has this month opened BXR London, a state-of-the-art 12,000 square foot members-only training facility.
Oh
in
gosh,
London.
that is a road trip we are going to have to do.
Yeah, there's another podcast coming up, just set in stone now. Fantastic. But I've actually noticed a lot. I mean, this is a men's magazine, but I've noticed a lot more girls doing boxing training.
I think it is popular, isn't it? I think people like the idea of it, and it's good fun, mainly.
And it's exhausting as well.
Completely exhausting. Anyone who's listening to this who has not hit a bag for a full 3-minute round, just give it a go. Absolutely wail on that thing.
The one piece of advice, because I have tried it before I did my ankle in last year. I started doing it. The one piece of advice I would offer to anyone thinking of taking up boxing is get your own pair of gloves, because my God, the smell of the communal gloves,
they are
in
wretched.
Any gym you'll find, honestly.
Right. This is it's one of those things, there's nothing you can do about it. It's
No.
an ongoing expense. Every year we spend about £500 on boxing gloves.
Oh my God.
And they're good for about, even when we make people use reps.
Yeah.
After 5 months, they're awful.
It's a smell that sticks around on your hands as well. It's
a 4-washer.
Yes, I'd say more than a 4-washer. I tried to counteract it when I did it by wearing latex gloves underneath.
So Matt Charlton goes for the most manly thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
Pulls on a pair of boxing gloves.
Yeah.
But just before that moment, ruins
Pair
it.
of kitchen latex gloves.
Wow.
Didn't work anyway.
Did you have wraps over the top of the latex?
No, just latex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Just like the feel of it next to my skin. So coming up next, hybrid classes. Now this is nothing to do with the Honda that you can get, right?
Oh Jesus, Matthew. No, it's not.
Okay, cool. Well, tell me then. That's 2 bad jokes in 10 minutes.
All
right, okay.
Hybrid class. I assume what they're talking about. Yeah, I mean that's mad, isn't it? There's a guy with a skipping rope and a football. Basically,
so get yourself a skipping rope and a football, and you are set.
The problem with trends is and the fitness industry is that people are always looking for like something new to normally, unfortunately, to make them some money, and on the other side of it is people coming looking for these things themselves to do that they think is going to be their shortcut. And I promise you now, hybrid classes are not the way to go. All I see, being the cynic, is I see someone really reaching for an idea here. It's like Viper training. I'm sure I find a lot of stick for that. It's just
Viper training.
Yeah, it's basically like
Please elaborate.
It's like a hollow totem pole. It's basically like a crap light barbell.
Right.
And they came out, they marketed it so well that they had people paying to go on courses how to train people with this.
It sounds like something one of the teams on The Apprentice would come up with when they say, invent a new fitness product that's going to take the industry by storm.
Exactly that. I've got this thing.
Yeah.
And it's called a Viper. How lame is that?
And they're from a team called Synergy or something like that. A Viper.
Yeah. Yeah, look it up. It's nutty. But you have so many people when it came out like, oh no, David, you should really go on this course. And I was like, oh, right, okay.
And so the next one is one we have spent a whole podcast on before, arguing about indoor rowing.
Yes, right, good.
It's like,
what's it say about it?
apparently it's been influenced. I don't know if you're a regular viewer of House of Cards on Netflix.
No.
But Kevin Spacey's character, the only way he relaxes is a rowing machine in his basement, and apparently that started a trend for those water rowing machines.
So not Concept 2s.
No, the water sort of. I was going to say water resistant, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
The resistance is in the water. But indoor rowing, that's been around for ages, surely.
Yeah, I think it's good for a number of reasons. I hope it does take off a little bit more. If the indoor rowing championships are anything to go by, that event has grown so much. This is why rowing's good. It's relatively low skill. You can teach someone to do it safely. Matthew's pointing. The picture they've got in this magazine is someone with
It's Captain Birdseye.
It's Captain Birdseye with a really rounded spine, in a terrible position, smoking a pipe
in yellow in a yellow lycra one piece. Yeah. The closing remark on this is: will the UK take a punt on it before the end of the year? Encouraged perhaps by the Cambridge-Oxford boat race in April. Like that's a new thing. It's like 150 years old. Dear God.
Jeez.
Okay, so indoor rowing. Rowing is a good thing.
Low impact. You're fairly unlikely to injure yourself. But having said that, do get a coach to show you how to do it properly.
So yeah, if you feel like training towards something, you got the indoor rowing championships coming up again.
Yes.
In what, December, November, something like that.
Yeah, it'll be in December, I think. And also we're having in-house rowing competition 3 months beforehand.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's actually something that I should have mentioned at the beginning. We've just put together a calendar of events that we're going to do as a gym. So
to be announced.
Which I'm really excited about is a triathlon with, instead of swimming, it's paddleboarding. How cool is that?
So now we move on to David's pet subject, one of his favourite things, which is strength training. And the illustrated picture in the magazine is a man yet again in a one-piece lycra outfit, lifting what looks like a mini above his head. Is that strength training? Do you lift a lot of minis above your head day to day?
Well, I can only speak for myself, and yeah, daily.
Yeah, I prefer a beetle myself.
If you've got it, you've got it.
If you've got it, you've got it. Absolutely.
Yeah, strength training is amazing. It's getting stronger feels great for one, and what we like to do is really, really encourage ladies to want to be strong.
I was going to say for boys and girls as well,
yes.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many positive adaptations that the body makes when we do absolute training for absolute strength, and what I mean by that is like essentially improving your technical 1 rep maxes for bench press, deadlift and back squat. And there's loads and loads of health markers that get improved when you do it. And also it's fun. It's fun. It's very, very tangible in that you can record your progress easily. You either get the lift or you don't. And was it more or less than last time you maxed out?
And it's quite a good group experience as well. If you do it with 2 or 3 other people, it's quite a nice thing to sort of compete against each other with.
Definitely. I mean, it can be the source of much of my displeasure and angst when people lift more than me. I take it very seriously.
Of course, I've noticed.
But yeah, I absolutely love strength training. I don't know where I'll be without it.
So for anyone who's thinking of getting started with strength training, what would your advice be? Just start out
strength
low.
training. Okay, well, I mentioned it earlier. I was talking about it, but you should always, and I'm assuming that you know how to perform the movements, but you should work to your technical failure each time. So what I mean by that is, as your technique starts to break down, so that you could probably say back squat 140, but say if when you do your reps at 120, you can feel that your hips are rising faster than than the rest of your body, and you're getting into a stripper squat, right? Then that's not working. All you're doing is embedding or reinforcing a bad motor pattern. The chance of injury goes right up. So my first thing would be just work to your technical failure until technical failure. If it starts feeling like the reps aren't as good or your movement's suffering, just stop. But also, being strong is functional, and I hate using that word. I really, really do. But during our life, there's never going to be a day of your life where you don't have to pick something up. And
true.
Isn't it our duty then to be able to do it well?
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Well, moving on. I'll bore people.
So I mean, you could pay the £42 a month that Gover Gym charges and do strength training there, or you could go to Equinox's new Pure Strength class, which launched in January and is £200 per calendar month.
Oh shit! What do they do for that?
I don't know. I'm assuming there's sexual favours involved. Otherwise, it's just not worth the money, is it? Yeah.
£200, mate. Well, I don't know. Imagine if for that you get daily one-to-one coaching. Then it's a really good price.
Maybe. So now onto the final one of these new fads, and I've seen this a few times this year. It's the new thing, crawling. What is crawling? Is it like Primal Move?
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay.
So things that are easily marketable are, people say, well, babies don't have any restrictions. You should squat like a baby. That was a thing a few years back. People were like, you should squat like a baby. Watch a baby squat down. They can sit all the way onto their heels and their spine is perfectly neutral. And then as we develop, our bones change shape. We lose a bit of range of movement, and it's we're not as malleable. So we can't quite squat like that. So yeah, crawling.
The baby thing you just mentioned from a few years ago.
Yeah.
Does it help? Is it a good thing to do?
Yeah, I mean there's some physiological changes that happen,
right?
That to your skeleton that make it much harder to squat.
I mean, your whole skeleton hardens up, your skull hardens up, and your bones sort of melt together and stuff like that. I mean, that's what happens. That's just growing, David.
But what they're talking about with the crawling, or the benefits of crawling, is it stabilises your shoulder. It's a really good. If I wanted to warm someone's shoulders up, I would maybe put some. Imagine you're on an AstroTurf track. I might put a 5 kilo plate under their feet and get them to walk, dragging the plate. If you can imagine that in a press up position, and it gets the shoulder nice and warm in a stable position, and they're working loads of different angles. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's really good. And for the hips, if you're trying to keep the bum low, then you're going to get some kind of external rotation which is going to open the hips up. Same with the ankles there, in quite a lot of dorsiflexion, which is a movement that you tend to lose or see that adults have lost, and that stops people being able to squat properly. So yeah, there are actually good benefits to crawling, but if you are basing your whole program around crawling, you are not going to get very far.
Because it does sound quite similar to Primal Move as well. And
Explain what Primal Move is.
Well, I've done a bit of Primal Move a few years back in the middle of Greenwich Park, no less. I wasn't on my own. That would have just looked very strange. But it's basically moving like an animal, repetitive movements, moving like an animal and holding that pose. It's a little bit yoga, it's a little bit Pilates, and it's a bit crawling as well. And it's really painful. I mean, in a good way. It's a really good workout.
But it is a really good way to do it. And there's loads of different stuff. There's they call it animal flow and stuff like that. And it really does make your joints feel great. And
it is really good, but you do get very, very strange looks when you're doing it in the middle of the park with a group of about 15 other people in the middle of Greenwich Park.
In your hemp trousers.
In my hemp trousers and nothing else. So many images we're giving you this week. So we've done that. That's the big thing for this year then. That's the big tip for this year. Not from us, but just generally, crawling. What else have you noticed sort of seeping into gym life?
Well, I'm very pleased to say that I think women are starting to embrace being strong. I think people have been saying it for a while. They're like, oh, strong is the new skinny. And it just sounded good, didn't it?
Yeah.
It just sounded good. But I think now, actually, the perception when you see a woman that is just a bag of bones, I think society doesn't think that's beautiful anymore, which, believe you me, Matthew, is a good thing.
It's turned a corner.
Yes, absolutely. Because girls that look strong are healthier.
Yes.
Than girls that are just skinny. I'm not saying that you can't be really, really skinny and not strong, but I'm just saying that the ladies are embracing resistance training, or that's certainly a theme. It's becoming easier to convince them that that's what they need to do.
So why is this, do you think? Is this social media doing a good job for a change?
Yeah, I think all those Instagram girls popping their hips out I might have done a little bit of good. I don't know.
Instagram's done some good.
Possibly.
Who'd have thunk
But
it?
there seems to be a lot of media around it, doesn't there? Are the mad trends are things like naked yoga, which we discussed.
Yeah.
It's exactly as nuts as it sounds. But basically, naked yoga, some presumably complete pervert has decided that...
With an apology to all naturists out there.
They can funk up yoga by doing it naked. I presume the reason that they would be grasping at is that the clothes are holding them back, like they're restrictive. But I mean, they probably haven't tried your hemp trousers on.
They probably haven't. No, and I'll lend them out to anyone who's willing to rent them. £20 a day, I think, is the going rate. Yeah, there was a news story in the Mirror a few weeks ago about this naked yoga class, and one of the reasons was that clothes are restrictive, and the other one was that you can't see what your body's doing as you're doing the movements.
But it's just, I mean, I've got OCD about hygiene, and that just blows my mind.
It's
So the thought of someone, I mean, who wants to do a downward dog and you've got your junk everywhere? It's crazy. Or no, what's the one where you are in this position? What's that?
The Cobra. Yeah.
Oh, I'm such a
yeah. Or the Crow. You know that one where you balance on your elbows inside your knees, and then get a good picture in your head, guys.
Just think about these are the type of people that want to do that. Like people that are mega confident, have got amazing bodies, and will make everyone else feel like shit.
But naturists never do, though, do they?
I'm clearly not as experienced.
You see those Channel 4 things about naturists, they're never like the beautiful people, are they? They're in like a caravan park in Blackpool at a convention or something. And there's so many, oh God, there's so many balconies over the herb garden, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, you were going through your reasons, David. I got a bit sidetracked by Channel 4 documentaries.
No, yeah, but there'll be no doubt a load of trends like that are bonkers, and they're just trying to make you part of your money.
So, are there any good trends, good ones for guys?
I don't think CrossFit's going anywhere anytime soon. I think
spearheaded by Hayden Rolfe.
I think making training an event in itself is the cleverest thing that someone's done in a long time.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think it gets a lot of slack because it's easy. Anything that's really popular gets a lot of flack, but it's probably done more good than it's done harm, I would say. I think it's hit a stage that like all businesses that grow that fast do of saturation at the moment, particularly in America. And I think it's going to plateau out. And then, like always does with these things, you'll see survival of the fittest, which is a good thing because you get all the quality of the product will go up, and you'll get all the places that have got great community, great coaches, and good facilities will do well, and all the ones that don't will fold.
Right. So that's almost the end of the show. What's the plan for next week?
I thought it'd be really fun because Hayden and I rarely are training for the same thing. And it so happens that he has decided that during this phase he does want to put on a little bit of muscle. So, and I am doing that as well. So we're both training for the same thing, and it is clear we're training at the same time that the way I train is very, very different to his. Very much better than his.
Okay.
But, I thought it'd be fun to sit down and talk about his differences. And and I'll explain, why I think the way I do it is better. And I'm sure he's got some pretty good, he's really well read. I will say that for the Boy Wonder. So I'm sure he's got some pretty good rationale behind his.
So you'll explain calmly and rationally to Hayden why he's wrong.
Yeah, listen to you, dick.
Brilliant.
So that I put together 10 David's 10 top tips for hypertrophy.
Or top 10 tips, which is how normal people...
What did I say?
10 top tips. It threw me.
I don't know. I think they're both right.
10 top 10.
If that sends you into a spin, Matthew...
It doesn't take much. Let's face facts. So that's next week. I'm going to call that the gun show, I think, next week. Okay. The podcast gun show. I mean, you like both of them, I know that. And... the week after that, we are going to once again delve into the world of meditation once we've gone to a few more classes and have a bit more of a chat and get Mel back in, I think is the plan. Yeah. Great. Okay. Well, David, thank you as ever.
Thank you, Matthew. I feel like I've not let you talk enough.
No, that's fine. That's the best for everyone, really, including the listeners. Don't worry about it. But thank you for coming in as ever. And I'll see you and Hayden next week.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, guys. Bye bye.